Uh-oh, Jimmy Kimmel is canceled. That's right. The late night show host is coming under fire this morning. It looks like everything's going to be over because Twitter cancel culture is totally effective at removing Hollywood celebrities from their jobs. Just ask Amber Heard. Now, Jimmy Fallon is as milk toast as it gets in terms of a late night show host. I could take or leave him. His fake laugh is a little annoying, but overall, he's probably the least annoying of all the late night show hosts. Well, other than Conan. And this morning, I noticed that Jimmy Fallon party was trending, and I assumed it was I assumed he said something negative about K-pop music or something like that. But no, it's real. Before I get into it, just a quick word from this video sponsor, and I hope to see you in there. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, where you can use my link in the description or pinned comment below to download Raid yourself to your mobile device or PC while I tell you about the game. Raid is an RPG turn-based game where you can assemble a team of champions to make them stronger and fight against 10 different bosses and players. You've got the tavern here if you want to upgrade and sacrifice champions to boost your favorite champion's level. That's probably my favorite part, is designing the exact group of champions that I like the best. Right now I'm working on my shaman. She's at level 14, but then I've obviously got Cal, the Dark Elf, at level 26. You can also challenge yourself to the edge in ongoing tournaments where you compete against the entire Raid community while fighting in places like the Spider's Den and the Almighty Fire Knight. Again, there are links in the description below. If you're a new player, you will not only be supporting my channel by downloading Raid Shadow Legends via my links below. If you're brand new, you can get 100,000 silver and a free epic champion, Lightsworn. You'll find your own extra rewards right here, up here in your inbox for the next 30 days only. So get in the game, help support the channel, and play with me. You can find me in the game as Colt's dad. Jimmy Fallon wore blackface 20 years ago. 20 years ago, long before outrage culture, Jimmy Fallon apparently wore blackface in a sketch, and now everybody wants him fired or something like that. According to For the Win, this week, the internet hordes turned their ire on NBC late night show host Jimmy Fallon over an incident in which he appeared on television in blackface over 20 years ago. The Twitter hashtag Jimmy Fallon is over party got some traction on Tuesday morning, as it was a whole thing. How did we get here? How did the most inoffensive late night show host end up the newest person to get called out en masse on the internet? We'll break it down. So Fallon, what happened? This week, a video resurfaced of Fallon on Saturday Night Live in 2000 doing a bit where he impersonated former SNL cast member Chris Rock. Now, there's a lot of interesting information in this sentence. 20 years ago, SNL and NBC, so SNL approved the sketch. All the woke writers of SNL thought it was okay. NBC thought it was okay. So Jimmy Fallon went out there and did his job and danced for the camera. Now, I guarantee that Chris Rock was not offended by this. I mean, I would be shocked. Oh no, did that person go the full? Yes, it did. Full impersonation, including blackface. So we see this clip. It's like 1,000,000 years old. Jimmy Fallon party is over if you're trying to see what he did, and it's just a dumb sketch. Oh no is right. How is this just coming out 20 years later? The video actually resurfaced 2 years ago as a response to Megyn Kelly losing her job on the Today Show. Good question. In 2018, Megyn Kelly was pushed out of her role on the Today Show after she argued on air that wearing blackface for a Halloween costume was appropriate. In an effort to highlight hypocrisy, right-wing internet users surfaced the footage of Fallon as a response. Basically, Kelly lost her job, but Fallon got to host the Tonight Show, and they both did the same thing-ish, sort of. But that was 2 years ago. Why is it back this week? Well, it's unclear. Is Fallon as culpable as Kelly? I don't really care. Interestingly, I mean, I don't know. I'm not black, obviously. But, you know, if a black person was wearing whiteface, it wouldn't bother me. Now, the whole minstrel shows and all this kind of stuff from way back in the day, that's a little different. But I find it hard to believe that many people would be like genuinely offended by this. It's possible. It certainly is possible. But then how come we didn't go after Jimmy Kimmel? I mean, Jimmy Kimmel. Here's Jimmy Kimmel playing what I can assume is Karl Malone, saying, okay, you want to go cancel Jimmy Fallon for something he did 20 years ago, but y'all let Jimmy Kimmel slide. Now, again, I don't think it's offensive, but I don't care. I mean, I can't imagine if, like in this case, for the sake of comedy, for example, if we look at Tropic Thunder. Remember when all the K-pop stans found out of nowhere Tropic Thunder and tried to re-cancel Robert Downey Jr. over it? It was one of the most ridiculous things ever. Like, the whole reason Robert Downey Jr. played blackface is because that was the bit. Like, it was showing how ignorant his character was. Everyone knew that. But nonetheless, Jimmy Fallon is over. And it's weird because, he hasn't responded to anything. I'm sure that, he probably will at some point. He'll say, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Who cares? Don't apologize. I mean, we can look at a timeline of every Jimmy Fallon controversy. Obviously the Jimmy Fallon blackface thing. He's not publicly addressed it. However, in 2019, a report by the Rap claimed he likely received Chris Rock's approval before the SNL appearance. Interesting. So you're saying that Chris Rock, the black man that he was impersonating, was okay with it. It's a little different. If we go back to Sarah Silverman, she's a little more funny because she now would lose her mind. And you could see this article. Sarah Silverman says she was fired from a movie for an old blackface sketch. Comedian Sarah Silverman has said she was once fired from a movie after producers found a sketch from 2007 in which she wore blackface makeup. In an episode of her former Comedy Central, The Sarah Silverman program, that said she no longer stands by, Silverman's character dons dark face paint to see what it's like to be more difficult to be black or Jewish. The episode, which was intended to examine racism from the point of view of Silverman's eponymous character, features a comedian saying, "Do I look like beautiful Queen Latifah?" and telling a congregation at the African American church, "I'm black today." Speaking to Bill Simmons' podcast last week, Silverman revealed, "I was going to do a movie, a really sweet part in a cool little movie. Then at 11 p.m. the night before, they fired me because they saw pictures of me in blackface from that episode," she added. "So they hired someone else who's wonderful, but who's never stuck her neck out." It sounds like old Sarah Silverman is a little salty that outrage culture came for her. Now, Sarah Silverman, of course, leads the charge these days after famously confusing construction road marks for symbols for the WW2 bad guys, but that's neither here nor there. She goes on, "I don't stand by the blackface sketch," she told GQ last year. "I'm horrified by it and I can't erase it. I can only be changed by it and move on." She added that was such liberal bubble stuff where I actually thought it was dealing with racism by using it. I don't get joy in that anymore. It makes me feel yucky. And Silverman explained on the Bill Simmons podcast that there was much I didn't know while she was making her show, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Am I that I mean, maybe I'm just that insensitive. It's entirely I'm like legitimately being honest here. I'm not trying to say, I'm not being sarcastic. Are we gonna? How long is the expiration date on this stuff? I mean, 20 years ago, are we gonna be upset about it? Are we gonna be mad that Jimmy Fallon did a comedy sketch? I don't believe so. I don't understand people these days. But nonetheless, I take great joy in Hollywood elites being taken down by their own kind. I mean, it's I don't agree with it. I wouldn't support it, but I would be lying if I didn't say it was a little funny. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.